The secant function. The secant function is a trigonometric function, one of three reciprocal functions that we look at in these pages, the other two being the cosecant function and the cotangent function. A reciprocal function is one that is the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse of another function, see below. The secant function, usually abbreviated as sec, in the reciprocal function of the cosine function, as with the other trigonometric functions in modern use. The secant function was certainly known to Arab scholars, and tables of secant values are known to have been in existence by the 10th century CE. In order to clarify exactly how the secant function and the cosine function are related, consider the diagram below. The secant as a line segment of the unit circle. Like the other trigonometric functions, the secant can be represented as a line segment associated with the unit circle. The diagram shows the secant for an angle of rotation theta of 45 degrees measured anticlockwise from the positive x-axis. Line segment BF lies on the line that is tangent to the circle at point B. Line segment OF, shown in red, represents the secant and is an extension of line segment. Remember that point P is a point of the circumference of the circle whose x and y coordinates represent the values of cos theta and sin theta, respectively. The line segments representing the sine and cosine are also shown. If you haven't already deduced the fact from the diagram, you will see from the interactive demo that as the value of cosine theta approaches 1, so does the value of sec theta. As the value of cosine theta approaches 0, however, the value of sec cosine theta tends to infinity. The value of sec cosine theta when cosine theta equals 0 is thus said to be undefined. Obviously, since the secant function is the reciprocal of the cosine function, it can be expressed in terms of the cosine function as sec cosine theta is equal to 1 over cosine theta. Since the cosine is represented by the x-coordinate of point P, example, the point at which the terminal side of angle theta intersects the circumference of the circle, we can also conclude that sec cosine theta is equal to 1 over x. We can also define the secant in terms of a right-angled triangle. If you have read the pages in this section covering the three main trigonometric functions, sine, cosine, and tangent, you will by now be familiar with the diagram below. In triangle ABC, sec cosine theta is equal to C over B. In right-angled triangle ABC, the cosine of angle theta is the quotient of the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Example, the sides labeled B and C respectively. Since the secant function is the reciprocal of the cosine function, then the secant of angle theta will be the quotient of the hypotenuse and the adjacent. This gives us sec cosine theta is equal to 1 over cosine theta is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent is equal to C. For those interested in such things, we have used Microsoft Excel to produce our own table of secant values for angles ranging from 0 degrees up to 360 degrees in increments of 1/10 of a degree. That will be all. Thank you for listening.